Hi art nerds! Today we're going to do a tutorial on stretching your watercolor images. This is part of my ongoing Watercolor Basics series, which is a joint project between this YouTube channel and my blog, nattasoup.blogspot.com. So if you are interested in learning how to watercolor from a watercolor comic artist, c'est moi, then this is the place for you. So today we're going to be stretching my Christmas card image of Naomi and Kara exchanging presents. And I'd like to take a moment to share a message from my sponsor. And my sponsor is 7-inch Kara, the first volume, which is available at nattasoup.com/Kara-comic. 7-inch Kara is a family-friendly watercolor adventure written and illustrated by me. So if you enjoy my art, if you enjoy the art on this channel, if you enjoy my personality and presence, purchasing a copy of Volume 1 is a fantastic way to get more of that and to support what I do. It's only $15 plus shipping at nattasoup.com/Kara-comic, or you can pick it up from me at any of the conventions that I'm at next year for $15 straight. Just let me know that you saw this promotional sponsorship video here on my channel. So we're going to go ahead and get started by stretching our watercolor paper, and the materials you're going to need are some gator board. This is corrugated plastic, the sort that people use for political signs. Some paper towels. I like Viva paper towels the best. I find them the best for this. Some 3M blue painter's tape. I have tried other brands, but this is the kind that I like the best. It gives me the best results. You can get this at Walmart, Home Depot, or through Amazon. You can check my links, my description below for links to everything. And this is like 1.5 inches, which is perfect for watercolor paintings like this. You're gonna want a spray bottle with clean water, a mop watercolor brush, and it can be synthetic, it doesn't need to be expensive, a cup of clean water, and some bulldog clips and binder clips. And those are all easy to find. You can get them at art stores, but I really recommend getting them on Amazon or Walmart or through office supply stores because they're going to be cheaper there. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pencil your image onto watercolor paper. And I'm using Canson's Moulin du Roy, which is a cotton rag artist quality watercolor paper. I don't get to use this for my comic pages because it's just too expensive, but I love using it for standalone images. So if you want information on how to pencil your image, you can check out my other video on that by clicking right here. But we're going to go ahead and flip this little puppy over, and we're going to spray down the back with water using our spray bottle. Super handy. And if I seem to pause randomly, it's because I am taking photos for the accompanying blog post. So if you feel like you've missed some important, valuable information, you'll be able to get that on the blog. So next, we're completely saturating it with our mop. And we're using clean water to do this. And I am painting on 140-pound watercolor paper, and that shouldn't buckle, but I find that it does. So rather than risk it, I just go ahead and stretch my paper. It's not really a big deal. It does add some extra time and a little extra effort, but I find it worth it, especially for my comic pages. Now, we're going to use the Viva paper towel to go ahead and blot off any excess water. And I usually do not ever do this at my desk because it is just too cramped, but I wanted to make sure I demonstrated this on video for you guys, although you can check out my watercolor panel from MechaCon 2014 if you'd like to see a full demonstration. I have some cat hair on it because unfortunately I have a cat and his hair gets everywhere. Gonna flip our illustration over, and we're gonna, sorry about that, wet that down, and that's going to activate the inkjet ink that I printed my blue lines with. And that is perfectly okay because it's gonna allow us to remove it, so it won't affect the watercolor itself too much. And we're gonna go ahead and line this up properly, and then quickly wipe it down, just kind of scrub that blue away, and then we're going to blot that with the paper towel. And you want to use lots of water so that you can get it all up, and then lots of water again. You really just want to saturate it, and you want to use cold water, not warm water. Someone who meant well but didn't know better commented that stretching watercolor paper in this way removes the gelatin, which is just not true because you're working with cold water. Cold water is not going to remove the gelatin. It's just going to help your paper more evenly absorb the water that you apply and will help prevent buckling, but it'll also hold your paper tight when you're painting and also help prevent buckling and cockling. And if I ever use a word you guys are not familiar with, you can check out the glossary of commonly used watercolor terms, which is also part of my Watercolor Basics series over on the blog. Or you can shoot me a comment if it's not listed there. If you ask me to define a word that I've already defined, I'm just going to link you to that post. And you can find a link to that post here in the cards, or you can find it by reading my description. All right, so we have saturated the paper twice, removed the blue ink, and I'm sorry if my phone ever pops into view. Like I said, I'm taking pictures for the blog post. Some of us, myself very much included, I do enjoy watching how-to art videos, but I also like reading how-to art posts, and having both is really nice. All right, so now we've got our blue painter's tape. You want to measure it out for the side and then apply it to your skin, because this is going to help remove some of the stickiness. And I hate applying the water to this tape over the pages I'm painting. So I will move my page and quickly apply water, because you want to do wet to wet, and you only want to do it on one side. We'll replace our board. Of course, even though I didn't want to drip, I did drip. And we're going to align our blue painter's tape with our image and then get it off course, of course. Fold it on over to the back. Use the paper towel to remove the excess water. And then we're going to clamp it firmly to our gator board. Gator board is super duper expensive. Yeah, really, right? No, it's not. It's very cheap. You can get your gator board at a home improvement store. That's going to be the cheapest place to do it. Or you can get it for free post-election by collecting political signs. You should ask first. It's illegal to just remove them. But if you are like me and people do campaigning in your area and they put their signs in your yard without your permission, you are totally free to throw those away or keep them for the gator board. I resent the heck out of it because they're not paying my rent. And I don't want their trash in my yard. Now, you might be wondering why I said binder clips. We use the binder clips on the edges that are further away from the edge of the gator board, and that'll help hold everything kind of taut. Help reduce the buckling too. And they even sell binder clips that have the super duper long arms on them. They're a little expensive, so I haven't purchased any yet. Unfortunately, I gotta move my illustration off the table again. Don't want to drip. That's why I like working on the floor. This table is just too dang small for the sizes I like to work at. It gets very cramped. That's why you guys see me use some unusual, and by that, say in heavy air quotes, not always very good, setups for painting larger illustrations when I do decide to do tutorials on those. And we just do this to all four sides. Really doesn't need to take very long. And because I'm doing this in a hurry and because I'm doing this in a really not large enough workspace, I am getting things kind of crooked, unfortunately. So usually I am much more careful when I am working at my own pace, in my own place, on my preferred setting, the floor. But, you know, try to be flexible. Holy smokes, my phone's blowing up. All right, so clamp down this last side, and then I'm going to allow this to dry fully. Now, normally I allow my watercolor illustrations to dry overnight when I'm stretching them, and that's just because you know, it makes for better. I feel like I have a quicker dry time when I allow my illustrations like this to dry overnight when I'm applying the washes. Especially if you live in a humid area like Louisiana or Texas, Tennessee in the fall. So that is how I stretch my watercolor illustrations. It is not necessarily the way fine artists, watercolor artists, or watercolorists stretch theirs, but you know, I have painted 150 comic pages. I have painted about 100 standalone illustrations, and this is the method that really works for me. It is all about finding what works for you. So if you want to try my method, please feel free. If you find that it doesn't work, I apologize. There are lots of other methods online, and you can check out my blog post on stretching your watercolor paper. It's a post about alternate methods of stretching watercolor paper for more information on other methods that you can use to stretch your pages. Yes, I know they do make gummed artist tape, and I hate that stuff because it is not designed to be removed from your image. It's designed to be cut away from your image, so you trim the image, and that just does not work for me. So I find the low tack blue painter's tape made by 3M really works well, and I wet this crepe tape down so that it will adhere better to the wet paper. I have found that applying it dry, it is less likely to adhere to the paper, so wetting it down on one side, not the sticky side, the dry side, works much better to get it to adhere. And these clips are pretty cheap, 75 cents each, unless you buy a pack of 12. So I really need to put my phone away because it is super duper distracting. Anyway, that was my tutorial on how I, as a watercolor comic artist, stretch my watercolor images. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. I hope you will check out my other watercolor basics. If you enjoy content like this, there are loads and loads of ways to help encourage me to make more. You can leave a like, you can leave a comment. If you are going to leave a comment, please address me directly. I am a person, I am a human. I do actually read your comments. I don't always respond, but I do read them. So while I am always open to your criticism and your comments, I would prefer it if you just talk to me as a person. I know a lot of YouTubers don't actually read their comments, so I know that is kind of become a foreign concept, but I am really trying to build community here, and it's really important to me. So please just respect my wishes in that regard. Anyway, yeah, leave a comment, leave a like. If you really enjoyed this video, if you really found it helpful, or if you know someone who will find it helpful, please take a moment to share it to your social networks using those handy dandy buttons right below the video. Helps me out a lot, and I actually see when you guys share those things, so it really encourages me. That sort of interaction feeds me and keeps me going. I mean, not literally feeds me, but it feeds my desire to create content for you guys. If you don't do that, if you don't do anything at all, I will give up and go away. So if you hate me, that's a great way to do it. There are other ways you can help me out. You can head on over to natosoup.blogspot.com to read loads and loads of tutorials, tips, and reviews over there. I've been doing that for 7+ years. You can purchase a copy of 7-Inch Kara. This is Naomi. This is Kara. Those are two of the characters from my wonderful, lovely, beautiful watercolor all ages comic. It is aimed at easy readers from 8 to 11. But some of the people who seem to buy it the most are teenage girls who liken it to the Ghibli movies that they really enjoy. I mean, I enjoy Ghibli movies too, but they're like, oh, this is like something Miyazaki would have done. So, you know, that's really gratifying. So if you like that kind of stuff, or if you know someone who does, a copy of Kara runs you 15 bucks. Small investment, small Christmas present, whole lot of enjoyment. Helps me out a lot too, keeps me going, keeps me motivated, because Comics are the reason why I do these videos, and love of comics is why I do art education. Lastly, if you want to help out, you can help out by funding content like this by heading over to my Patreon at patreon.com/natosoup for information on how to join my community of art nerds and what you can do to help out. I post early access goodies over there all the time. They have access to digital downloads of Kara as well as my mini comics. And I usually ask their input when I am coming up with new series. So if you want to get a say in what I teach you, please head on over to the Patreon and join. It's only $2 a month, which is less than the cost of one single cup of coffee on one single day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you guys again really soon, where we're going to go over doing a basic wash. Thank you so much for watching my watercolor basics videos. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.